for both of us, the overwhelming attraction to this country is the loving, kind, warm, welcoming nature of the people. And of course, it's irresponsible to deal in stereotypes and generalizations, but what we have found, in fact, is that the large majority of the population of this country are welcoming, warm, caring, loving, family-oriented, and what we've discovered in spades since Elaine has become injured is that they have treated us with overwhelming kindness and care and concern and showered attention on us since she broke her arm.
Well, I think the first thing is that you're not at home. You are not at home. And therefore, if you come with expectations that things be the same here as at home, you will be disappointed. The standards of cleanliness are different. The standards of social behavior are different. The mores, the culture are very different. And so simple things, for example, in the beach resorts, I suppose if one is confined to the compound of a luxury beach resort, it's all right to wear your bathing suit and shorts and bare arms. But it is not all right on the street, even though Western people do that and wear very brief clothing. And it is offensive to the Vietnamese to see that much skin. Simple little things like that in honoring the elder in a family or in an organization. For example, here at this place where we are staying, we were very careful about how we would thank the staff. And the practice here is that you give the tips to the manager, and the manager disperses. If you have things for children, you give it to the parent. If you have things for a village, you give it to the chief. And we've had to quietly tread on a lot of things like that around culture. And so the hint is slowly, quietly, carefully.
I think one of the big mistakes people can make in this country, and really in any country, any developing country, if you go there as a Westerner, one of the biggest mistakes is attempting to communicate by raising your voice. I think that's sort of a natural proclivity Westerners have. If we can't speak their language, we have this subconscious idea that if we raise our voice and shout at them, it'll be more clear to them. And you couldn't be making a bigger mistake with the Vietnamese than to yell at them. And I think it's really important to recognize, I've heard people complain in restaurants and in hotels. I've heard people say, they don't speak English well enough here. Well, guess whose country it is,
Exactly, exactly.
Maybe you should speak a little more Vietnamese, or at least make the effort to speak some Vietnamese, and they'll love it. They'll be so impressed if you just try. They'll laugh at you, but they'll be impressed and appreciate it. I can give you a very specific example of obnoxious behavior that you may want to edit out of this later.
Oh no, we love those. This is what's going to make us lucky.
Last year, when we were in Hue, we went to a restaurant with our small group of about 10 people, and a tour group came in of about 50 or 60 French people, and they were all dressed in the imperial costumes of Hue, the Vietnamese imperial costumes, which is part of the shtick that their tour group was doing. That's okay. And so they came in.
40 or 50 of them.
There were at least 40 or 50 of them. And after they were all seated, and the Vietnamese waitresses, in their very subdued and polite and submissive fashion, are waiting on them and getting them seated and getting them taken care of. One big florid-faced fellow stood up, raised his glass, and shouted, "Vive la France!" and of course the toast was echoed by all 50 of them who were on their feet shouting "Vive la France!" not once, but 4 times. And
had they completely forgotten the French occupation?
Do they know what happened in 1954?
The needs here are endless. The need is absolutely endless. Poverty, lack of education, in a country full of contrasts, trying to compete in the modern world and yet have this history of occupation and war, and after the American War, as they call it, a complete dissolution of all systems, whether it be education or all the infrastructure disappeared. And this rebuilding is a huge, huge effort. And if you come, the awareness of that will help you get through it, because you can only do what you have with what you've got.